zoning and traffic pattern changes to our neighborhood and surrounding properties. And we urge you to protect our property values by ensuring that proposed changes to surrounding properties do not negatively impact our neighborhood through increased traffic flow, noise pollution, or changes environmentally. Thank you.
Like I said, like I was saying before, the number one issue, the zoning of the properties to the north of 12.1 had been changed. The industrial, like I said, number two, there's been no requests, at least any kind of formal request made that I know of. John, do you know of any that's been filed to connect Judson Drive to anything else?
Other than Andy asking for it.
Maybe, like I said, it was talked about, amongst the big property owners in our meeting, but there's nothing at all has been filed whatsoever. I mean, nothing. So,
It was a suggestion to the council, by those present at that time, but we have not acted on
nor did the aspect, not only either.
it.
May I ask a question, or do I need to approach the podium?
So you can get it, next question, yeah.
So I searched, after I heard about this, I searched for minutes, found nothing. I searched for agendas, found nothing until today. I found an agenda for today.
Right.
So how would we ever know that zoning or roadway is proposed? Where would you as a common people hear this kind of news?
Typically, when a neighbor, I mean, I think there's some talk about maybe putting a neighborhood or something back in that area. I mean, there's a lot of things being discussed. I don't know what all, I mean, we're not privy to a lot of it.
Well, I'm asking how we can stay abreast of it, because we've come to you today letting you know
Sure.
that 100% of the neighborhood is saying we don't want anything to do.
Well, I
And
understand
if we
that.
don't know that it's coming down the pipe at us later, then how would we know to even address it?
Okay, now, first of all, is, if there's a petition for a neighborhood of more than 10 acres, it's gonna be filed in the newspaper anyway. It'll be in the legal section of the newspaper.
And he's on a chance.
Let any zone change them to saying if residential, you go for or what they call a major development, which is, I think, 10 acres, or at least it used to be. More than 10 acres, it'll be advertised in the newspaper, and it'll go in front of the planning and zoning board at least twice. It just doesn't jump up and happen. I mean, it's a several month process. It's not like it's just one and done. It's
But that's for a zoning change. What about this roadway?
no, what I'm saying is any kind of neighborhood that gets filed for to go in, any kind of planned development, it's gonna be months in the process, not years. Anything of any size.
There's a comment in these minutes about, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Jackson stated he would like to extend Warren Avenue South and proceed to aid communities in the area to encourage economic development and environment anyway, and that's all. He just stated that there was nothing that was on the agenda or anything, he just stated it.
Without the, I'm sorry.
Yeah, please, come on up.
Okay. I'm Charles Turner, live 504 Jones. And you're talking about these things that we are looking at, but we can't foresee them, and y'all going to act on them. We're going to have to keep abreast of it. What we're saying is, we would not like any more traffic in ours. We have 51 homes, I believe, already in our little 1 mile cubicle. If there's any suggestion for any change of zoning, which I think, I'm not sure, my memory loses me a little bit. You said it's already been approved for a housing complex already.
No.
Apartment complex.
Okay, the land that got changed is not connected to Judson.
Okay.
That's over on,
Just
Thomas Demp's. These two properties are joined, but the other property away from Judson's got changed.
These three.
one suggestion though, if any of this comes to pass, what is wrong with using common sense if they extend Warner, have a cul-de-sac there, let them go back, not flood our little neighborhood, that's already in the past, I would say 4 years, probably exaggerating a little bit. We have probably at least doubled our traffic already. Can you imagine the doubling of what we have with the additional houses and then another 30 or 40 houses being built in that? Our little community and our roads just will not accept that. We just fortunately have gotten our road paved. And we'd like to thank y'all for that, but we want to keep it safe. We want to keep it good. Just consider there's other avenues instead of extending a road into a subdivision to take and do something different. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
These two parcels here, three, really, 1, 2, 3 are still ag. These ever get switched from industrial, everybody in here will get a letter. And then you'll have a planning and zoning meeting and 2 council meetings to voice your opinion.
Yeah, they'll get changed from they'll have to get changed back from agricultural if they ever get. They'll have to get changed to RSF 1, 2, 3, whatever. I mean, they'll have to change zoning. Have to change land use. That's a long process. It's not, like I said, it's not a one and done. You find out tomorrow it happened.
When
Many
you see,
meetings, lots of plannings, many meetings. And so forth. Go ahead, sir.
well, as you can see that there, it joins, it runs right up to the edge of our subdivision.
Sure.
You can see that. So there has to be other alternatives.
And most subdivisions, the time in the past several years, you usually just have one way in and out.
Cul sign.
Right, one way in and
Or
out,
still-
or a loop, or however you, like y'all have, or whatever. Most of them just have one way in and out to reduce traffic.
And that's why we're trying to protect that.
Yeah, and in fact, I understand it, I read that, this was supposed to be a quote unquote new escape route for the people in Quail Point. We don't need an escape route. We have a road that goes down. We have 2, really 3 escape routes in case we need it. We can go hit Puckett and go to 19. We can go by the airport, hit 19, or we can go to Out Road, hit Golf Course Road. That was 19 and go to 98. We are not looking for an escape route, Johnson Drive.
Anybody else like to speak on
Yeah, so for the record, Round Wood, 303 Judson Drive. So I think, Mayor, you really hit it on the head. There's nothing at the current moment in effect. So the members of our community, we're kind of just here as what it seems to be a nip it in the bud kind of meeting. But just to kind of reinforce the initiative of opposition. As stated, there are some property owners in the area that have the intention of developing a road system to increase the value of their property. And, of course, we all enjoy those personal benefits that Mr. West spoke about. Our current road system structure within our community, which is one of the driving factors of our attendance and that petition that you all see. But in addition to, prior to you guys, actually, if a case ever arises, an opportunity arises for you guys to move forward, I would like to feel that the taxpayers within this district deserve an explanation from the council on the overall net benefits of what such road would present to the community, and justify the expense to the taxpayer. There's hearsay of wanting to, that the property owners are wanting to disguise this initiative under the pretense that it provides escape route or additional access for emergency management and first responders to better protect and serve, albeit an admirable cause, an admirable case. I can guarantee there's no statistical data that would showcase that the current road structure, might have been there 20 or so years, causes any hindrance to their abilities to officially maneuver in order to either exit the community or protect and serve. However, there has been a lot of studies conducted all throughout the United States that reinforces the notion that additional through traffic in subdivided neighborhoods will cause and create additional hazards that I have cited and willing to share with you guys. In my opinion, and I could be completely wrong about this, but this is really nothing more than a property owner or a group of property owners looking to take advantage of taxpayers in order to increase their property value, which only provides benefit to them. So regardless if I'm wrong in that opinion, regardless of motives behind that initiative, I would ask the council to look into it, the opportunity arise. If its constituents become evident, that this is a wise use of taxpayer funds that will result in an overall safer environment for both communities. And unfortunately for those supporting this, I don't see an avenue in which that is feasible or obtained. So thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. Like I said, and just one thing I want to, reiterate is that, it was said in a public meeting, so there's nothing wrong with anybody speaking about it in a public meeting, even though there's nothing foul or whatever, there's nothing wrong with giving your opinion or how you feel in a public meeting about it. So,
But it was brought up, but that's one.
it was brought up, you're right, it was brought up in a public meeting, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. Does anybody else like to speak on it?
So without sounding trivial, we want it noted that we brought it up.
Sure.
We oppose it.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
My name's Jim Penn. I'm at 506 Judson Drive. And I've only been in Perry for about 2.5 years. And Judson Drive was one of the, because it is a one-way in and one-way out, that's the main reason that we chose to move there. And I assisted Mr. and Ms. Grant in obtaining some of the names for this petition. And I'm assuming, I don't know about the public meeting, but from what I'm gathering that you said, that this proposed roadway was only brought up in a conversation, that nothing's been filed. Whoever it was that made this conversation or brought it up, I hope that it can be conveyed to them that by us signing at nearly 100% of our owners, but then please don't bring it up again because we really don't want it. And that's really about all I have to say.
Thank you. Yeah, I said, Justin Drive, and you got the neighborhood next to it, it's designed the same way. The Tour Lane is one way in and out, so they're all
Two neighborhoods.
right, exactly. So, except for a few dirt roads and people pushed in, that we didn't have anything to do with.
But Ward, if I may, and so you mentioned the dirt road being pushed in. And I
Well, what I'm talking about is people four-wheel drive,
Right.
just find their way through the trees.
Right, and that's what I wanted to speak to, because when I spoke to some of the neighbors in the adjoining neighborhood, that they should probably do the same thing that we were,
Yeah,
they began to complain about the four-wheelers that are coming through those roadways into the core lane. And I think it's Parker subdivision, the next one over from us,
yes.
and cutting across the corners of their property on the four-wheelers. Now, I live in the southwest corner of Whale Point, and I can hear the motorcycles and four-wheelers ripping and rearing all the time. I don't want that behavioral problem in our neighborhood.
Understandable. Anyone else like to speak on it? I think we understand where the neighborhood is on it. Sure.
My name is Bobby Harbor. I live at 600 Judson Drive. My wife and I bought a home there, about 10 years ago. The neighborhood at that particular time was sort of quiet, peaceful, and what have you. That's the reason we moved here. I'm a Madison County. I was raised up in Madison County, but, work brought us this way and we decided to make Perry a home. During that time, my wife and I have often expressed, wasn't that the one we had 4 younger couples in our neighborhood with children, because there weren't that many young couples and that many children in the neighborhood then. There is now. My concern with anything of this nature happening is not for me and my wife. I'm 75 years old. I can take it. I can live with it. But I probably have to change it like I've been here. But anyway, but those young children and those young couples trying to raise their children in that neighborhood. The reason I'm speaking out on that today is because most of the young couples are not able to be here today and speak for themselves. They're either working or they're looking after their children. So I'm their voice today. And that's really my biggest concern. It's the children in that neighborhood and it's young couples who are trying to have a good life and a good quiet neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I do not think that you all will have a problem this going any further. But we do have a neighborhood that don't have different means of getting out of their neighborhood in case there's a flood or anything. That's the problem that we're having. What subdivision is that?
Oh, better.
Together subdivision, but I do not think that you all would have to worry about anything. You will come up with a solution. Right, Jackie?
I don't think going through Judson Drive is.
They're not, we're not going to do that.
Like I said, if anything does get filed, it's gonna be months and months and months of meetings, several meetings before it even gets to that point. So you'll have plenty of time to say, hey, no. And we hear you, trust me, we get it. I mean, I understand, one way in, one way out, it's usually the way to go, subdivision, it cuts down the traffic. That's, anytime you cut down the traffic, it makes things better.
Because my neighborhood, I'm pretty sure would really get off of this piece of property.
She been trying to sell it, no one
Oh,
wants
that's
to.
just this,
Yeah, but
just this corner.
her thing is that if they don't, she's just gonna lease it out and go leasing it out to people.
No, she actually has a landowner that lives in the middle of that property, and that is his easement.
I'm just telling you what was told to me.
That's where he gets into that?
Yeah.
That's his only way in and out.
Yes. Yes, driveway.
The driveway leads to
And he signed the petition as well.
And it's high and dry sandy road, so it don't flood back there. Trust me, I've been back there, I know.
Anyone else like to speak on
it. I just got a question. That's going to
it? Quickly, just so we can hear it for the minutes, so we get some minutes.
My name's Jeff Myers, live at 122 Judson Drive. Matter of fact, we was the fifth house in the neighborhood, so. And we own the bottleneck, so we got plenty of traffic, I'll just say that. But my question is, I'm not a developer, but wouldn't a developer have an issue, is he's responsible for, just say paving a road into the neighborhood he's developing? Or is he just trying to save money off of our neighborhood and the next neighborhood, just connected to them and spending less money? Or is that something that the city, or would that be a city expense? My question, why wouldn't the developer develop a road into the subdivision?
They do, they have to.
So that was
That's
just
like
done as
when Justin Drive was built, I think the developer had to put all the infrastructure in for it as well.
Correct. So that was my issue, was the fact of why is this even been discussed? Because the developer, all he's gonna do is make money. He's gonna divide, he's gonna subdivide the property, sell them individually, make a cool $1 million, $2 million, $10 million, develop the house, build the houses, and he's gonna leech off of our roads. So I'm just saying, I don't see why this is being discussed, true, but I'll leave it at that.
Like I said, it was just two people standing over in that area, kind of brainstorming about what possibilities were, and that's honestly where it came from.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't even think this is a process that has even been started. I think it's something that he looked into doing, and he wanted just some information on how would the city feel about looking into it. I don't think it's nothing that he's even started even looking at.
See, that's the part that concerns us, it hasn't got started.
But it could.
It could, I would be, it could.
You can ask for anything.
Just that you have comment, a question, Rick Gardner, 220 Judson Drive. First off, just thank you. I think it's been mentioned that the city did obligate funds and we have new pavement throughout all of Judson Drive. And I know everybody here appreciates that. It certainly makes the ride in and out a lot easier. We see, moms pushing their babies with the strollers around town. You can actually do that, which is great. The question I had, I think I heard you say, Mayor, that it's already been rezoned to industrial.
The land away from Judson Drive.
Okay, so two lots that join to come in off the Collinsworth Lane are still not industrial.
You see the, well, it's over my head too. Yeah, I think there's, the ones that are up against Judson are still agricultural.
So any zoning change to be put in a subdivision or industrial, still gotta go through planning and zoning commission. There'll be a lot of opportunity
Oh,
to
yeah.
address that down the road. So it is agricultural right now, is what I'm hearing.
The
Three
three,
times, no, I think it's A1.
the three just north of y'all are ag, the two that, just Arthur owns and the one that Andy owns is still ag. The
Okay.
three north of that have been rezoned industrial.
Okay.
One up toward Thomas Dance.
Right.
Kind of,
So there is an option, I mean, that's still on the agenda, it's talked about an extension off of Warner Drive. Well, that's, Warner Drive can come in and they can put, we're all for tax, relative to tax base, with what's going on in Taylor County. You can come in off of Warner Drive and they can develop that in industrial, they can develop that in another subdivision. But just come in and out of Warner Drive, go out to Thomas Steps and get out to 19, and just don't come through. But it is, ag, that's what I understand. I thought I understood you said it was, but it's not that, it's ag, right?
yeah.
All right, thank you.
Like I said, it was just a thinking out loud session over there. Basically, what it boiled down to, I'm serious, that is what happened.
But you can see that it's kind of like kicking an anthill.
It is. I agree with you. I
Sorry,
agree.
we're just so passionate.
Oh, no, I get it.
Love.
I'm glad y'all did. I'm glad you came forward. I'm glad you came forward. Anybody else like to speak on it?
I'm glad you guys came forward too, because we would have never knew that you guys were against trying to get another avenue for that community to get out if a flood came in, but as Councilwoman Hampton said, we'll look at other options.
And as far as y'all finding out, what's going on with the property, one statement set off the cuff in one meeting will alert you to it. I promise you there will be many red lights leading into if something actually does get involved. I mean, there'll be plenty of meetings, plenty of notice. A lot of you get letters. I think anybody, yeah, 400 feet of a property.
Distance, but
It's a distance anyway, but a lot of you in that neighborhood will get letters if anything you stop or rezoning, you'll basically get a letter from you. Several of you, I mean, if not all of you. So,
That'd be good. At least y'all know how we do.
sure, yeah, appreciate you coming and telling us.
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right. Item 6B, council to discuss the Perry Train Depot's roof. The council will take any action deemed necessary. Give everybody a minute or two to exit the room. All right, again, agenda item 6B, council to discuss the Perry Train Depot's roof. The council will take any action deemed necessary.
the report came back, that's something bad. We've had engineers come there and tell us how expensive it's gonna be, to fix the trusses and replace the roof. But if we don't replace the shingles, FEMA will drop it as a project. So if you want any chance of getting reimbursed by FEMA for shingles, you need to go ahead and replace them.
But you can't get insurance if you don't replace the trusses.
You won't have liabilities. We do have insurance on the building itself.
Does that replace the trusses or strengthen the truss?
We didn't, remember the engineer came in here and said it'd be 20 grand to determine what we were, can't exactly for 2025, to determine what we would need to do to the trusses, right? And then you still don't know if insurance is gonna accept what they come up with.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely. My son was pretty bad.
At one of our, September 9th meeting, this came up and, Councilmember Woodfall asked Mr. Hart if he would check with different insurance companies to determine if another company would insure the train depot. Did you do that?
They all said no.
All what?
They all said no, not the state it's in.
Not as the current state.
Because of that report.
Okay, so now, what is FEMA asking us to do?
If we don't replace the shingles, they're gonna pull the project. So we'll never get FEMA money back.
Okay, so if we don't replace the shingles before we address the trust issue? Is that what you're saying?
We can go ahead and replace the shingles now, no reimbursement.
But you haven't done anything to the trust? Who would do that, John? That makes no sense whatsoever.
Been through 3 hurricanes and nothing happened to the roof.
Do what?
Building's been through 3 hurricanes and the roof's still standing.
Exactly.
So I don't want to fix trusses for $250,000. And I don't want it sitting there looking like that either.
So what do you do about the insurance?
Like liability.
Have you checked with Lloyd's on London by chance? I know that may sound a little wild to go to. I know the Boys and Girls Club had to insure something with Lloyd's in London. Yeah. I can't remember what the situation was, but
Well, if you have no intention of fixing the trusses, I can understand the proposal to go ahead and get the money for the shingles. But if at some point we're gonna do something to the trusses, that doesn't make sense.
I don't have the intention to do a hundred trusses.
Well, I'm with you. How many years has that building stood over there and gone through how many storms and still standing with the trusses like they are?
But are you willing to go with that? Are you willing to self-insure the liability?
That I don't know. We talked one time about getting rid of rental property. So I don't know.
So that, my opinion was to live it, but I've had a lot of people say no. So
Well, it's a historic building. If we could get it on the historical register and, get some help that way, that might alleviate some of the costs, but I don't know that we can do that.
do we know trusses 250 or we can guess?
Yes. Market price.
I wonder if, Mayo Trust would give us,
Give us the material price.
well, but that's a start. Is this, document we got here, Department of Homeland Security, is that what?
I'll have to tell you more about that.
That's from FEMA, so that's what they would give us if we plan to do the shingles. Like if we take the money and we don't replace the shingles, we're gonna have to give it back.
That's just for shingles.
Yeah, that's just for the shingles, and all they would give us is the federal cost share amount, which is that 22,609. The state gives us 12.5%, and then depending on if they waive our fee or not, we have to pay 12.5.
well, if we don't replace the shingles fairly soon, in my opinion, none of it's gonna matter anyway. They're always gonna be water damage.
It's up to me, we replace the shingles, get reimbursed, and then sell the building, and let somebody else carry the liability of having it.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
getting Warren just said that on that McDonald, not McDonald said that the cost, estimated cost of compilation of an engineer report would be approximately $20,000 to $25,000. That's just the engineer report. That's not any repair. They'll level it.
I wouldn't pay them I'd call manufacturer of the trucks and find out what, we don't know how much we're talking.
Right. But we don't even know how many trusses you need. I mean, that's part of the engineer report.
It's on it's on.
Obviously, you've already got that part, don't you?
They've got their own engineers.
Yeah, but I think we already, John already has that.
They give you a real pretty report.
But it is going.
So what you're asking is, do we want to go with the shingles or not go with the shingles? So what's everybody, how's everybody feel with it?
Well, why can't they tell you what they will accept to fix it?
I'm sure their recommendation would replace them all.
How much longer do we have to make a decision on this, or do we need to make it pretty quick?
Come on, Carmen, come on.
I mean, I'm being pressured by people to give them an answer, but I mean, we could probably push it out a little bit.
Very.
Can we tell we waiting to get estimate?
Yeah.
Well, I think we should do what we can to save it. I don't want to lose.
You don't have enough information to know,
I understand.
because whatever that number is, that's when you need to make a decision.
So we don't know what it will cost us to replace the chain,
Replace the trusses and the whole roof,
just the chain.
35 grand.
Not a bad price for the size of the building.
The fixing the shingles won't fix the entire problem.
Because he says it's been.
All right, they can't just say when you fix the trusses, well, they insure it then.
We replace or fix them.
Fix.
I mean, get it structurally sound to their standard, will they again insure it?
I believe they would.
Believe, but not know. Cause I mean, like I said, I know somebody in my own family that went through all the gyrations of what the insurance company told them to do, and they dropped them in. Or rewrite them or whatever.
They don't want to insure anybody.
So those we're talking about is just liability insurance, is that right? So that building doesn't have any insurance on it.
It has insurance on the building.
It's not liability.
It's not liability.
Some people
Don't spread that word.
Well, spread that word.
They was checked with a bunch in London.
So the board just said, we should do that.
Anyway, you want to circle back around in a couple of weeks.
Do we have that? Do we have that long
Long.
to build?
2 weeks.
Oh, how long?
She's not gonna come in, she doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know, because they're, I mean, FEMA is just very, they want their answer right.
Right then.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
like,
They work for somebody,
and they're getting pressured.
So- we don't need to quit and give up. Because they answer to somebody.
Meaning,
She's gonna tell me that we get quotes right now. John, can we do his homework on one of these?
But we gotta make a decision at the next meeting. You know, that's what we're gonna say, that's the next meeting.
Yeah.
All right. Agenda item 6C, council to review the community development block grant agreement. Council will take any action deemed necessary.
This is the one for repayment. downtown. I've already approved it, just gotta get the agreement signed.
So retaining them,
Most of the streets,
sorry, what was it?
most of the streets downtown.
Go to page 24.
Technology is in our side, now, isn't it? We did on 24, Mr. Bill.
Well, he's not there yet.
Okay.
What is it?
Charlie, you don't have a hard copy of it?
Well, it did, but it's like that's the one thing missing in my package. We can borrow sometime.
Page 24. What number? 7. You say you've got bids for this already. The subrecipient is not required to publish an RFP for subgrade administration, which you say you got a bid for, if it decides to contract with the regional planning council. Is that what we've done, regional planning council?
And we published an RFP.
So whatever you've done is illegal.
No, it's not, it's not required. But I did, I wanted an RFP. I don't want the regional planning council to administer the grant. I don't want the regional planning. council-
Where is it? We've never seen the RFP. I have mentioned to you a number of times about the selection of an engineer and that there's a statute that covers that. You have yet to take your time, which is 24 hours in the day, and look and see what that statute is. You're relying on me to go research that.
I'm relying on the consultant I used to get the grant together for us.
That he don't know what he's talking about, if he thinks you can just receive a bid on the. And I'd like to see the RFP on both of those. I think we all need to see it. We've got an obligation. We've got an obligation to interview these people that you get the RFP from.
We're gonna do.
You gotta have 3 say, they just select from the 3.
Gonna be more than 3.
Where's the information?
Can we read it?
What?
Can we read it?
I want the information that they submitted.
I haven't done it yet.
That's it.
Let's do 2 p.m. October 31st.
But you're trying to sign a contract.
Sign an agreement to get the money.
It's still a contract now.
It's an agreement.
Do we, are we able to, do we have a single audit done?
Or
City fair? It just requires.
I don't know. I have to read all this.
Have you read this?
Some of it. I gave the card to read.
We are gonna have a,
I don't know.
we are gonna
Got
have
a
a
week
single
down
audit
there.
for some,
Pardon?
we'll have a single audit for one of the water projects.
Well, I know you know that, but he don't know.
I'm saying it for you.
But, you know, I got a problem here. We're gonna deal with this too. Within 60 calendar days of the close of the fiscal year, we've got to submit that audit. 60 days. Can they provide one in 60 days? If they can't, we need to find somebody who can. That's on page 3.
Isn't the
See.
single audit done after? it was
No, we get a single audit. After you $750,000 federal money. Oh. We get one of them, you know. But we need to know if they can provide that.
Only if you expend $750,000 in federal awards.
And we got about 2 million.
This is,
We've already spent 750.
this is state.
No, it doesn't matter. It says you will do this
If you,
in this document.
if you expend $750,000 more in federal awards.
Well, I hate to tell you, you don't know what you're talking about.
That last page,
You're just trying to argue about
I'm not
something.
arguing the last page, attachment K, we send in with it, did the subrecipient expend $750,000 or more? No, we didn't. It's the very last page. Attachment K.
State of Florida Department of Commerce. You didn't read this. Federally funded small cities community development block grant. It's federal money.
That's why I'm trying to hire a
Got nothing to do with a grant writer.
grant administrator.
Well, the grant writers do the grant administration.
We got a grant writer for this. That's who wrote it.
He was
We're
just
gonna do
helping,
the administration also, or
he was just helping. Now we have an RFP for an actual grant consultant and for the engineering.
that's who's gonna handle taking care of it.
One thing I would suggest is call the auditor and see if he can comply with this.
I did ask him recently about a single audit, 'cause I asked him if we were gonna have to have one. And he told me, yeah, about the water project. That's all he said. So,
We've had one
yeah,
for the last 20 to 30 years.
we have.
Yeah.
I didn't really know.
5% of the grant goes to grant management. So whoever gets it bid gets $100,000. I think they're following all these rules.
I recall, I don't recall the number, but we're gonna pay for an engineer to tell that contract to put that new asphalt right on top of the old asphalt. And we're gonna pay him some astronomical amount of money.
Yep.
Well, I'd rather talk to other engineers and see if we can't get a better deal than this one.
Put an RFP out for it. It's an RFP for grant administration and for engineering. It's two separate ones. They're due on the 31st. We'll open them up in November. They ran the Tallahassee General Grant.
I think, my opinion is that, we need to go ahead and move this because it starts on November 1. We'd be behind if we don't. And that's my motion, sign the document.
You have all these objections and now you want us to sign a contract. You're confusing all of us.
Is it okay?
They're saying the same thing too.
You don't have any objections? You read this?
I'm not familiar, I'm not done
I know,
with CDBG.
I understand.
I'm not that familiar with it. You are, I understand that.
Okay.
But you brought all these issues up and now you're saying sign the contract. Now, which is it?
Because
Do we tackle the issues or do we sign the contract?
sign the contract.
Second. Second.
Councilmember Grimes,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes.
Mayor Ketchum.
Yes. Agenda item 6D, resolution 2024-23, SRF loan application for water. Resolution of the city of resolution of the city of Perry, Florida relating to the state revolving fund loan program. Making findings, authorizing the loan application, authorizing the loan agreement, establishing pledged revenues, designating authorized representatives, providing assurances, providing for conflict, severability, and effective protections. This is an FRS loan application.
This is that additional 420 grand that the filter project went over. We paid for city funds just to get it right back in the SRF grant loan. They agreed to increase it for us. Like I said, 0.99%. Yeah, 0.99%.
It's almost no interest. Almost. Doesn't part of that convert to a grant at some point?
I thought that's the way it was supposed to be, but I don't think the additional did. I think it went straight to the loan. Additional finance in the amount of 420.
Says here, apply for a loan, 27 in principal forgiveness. So how does that work?
Part of you read?
2,000,007. Or 3,000,007 for loan, and then 2,007,500 for in principal forgiveness. How does that work?
Grant part. The,
The difference what we owe?
yes.
Okay.
But it works like some of these, HUD housing. They build you a house for free. But you owe $50,000. And each year that you live in that house, they forgive so much of it until it's all forgiven.
Okay, so that's what this would be. We would owe the 350, but every year we go down.
Right.
That just forgive us straight off the top. We owe the 954.
Makes it good.
Just short somewhere.
It's not making it short.
So they paid 2.7 million and we're borrowing 954,000 for a $3.7 million project.
And 0.99% interest.
0.99%.
That includes the additional 420, John?
Yes. That's the 3.7 was the total after the addition. 0.99. 0.99.
0.9.
Basically, for whatever reason, they call it. I'm sure it's a reason we have not moved. Anyway, we got a motion. Do we have a second?
Yeah. It's not cheap.
The motion, Bill?
Bill?
Yeah, I guess so. Still a lot of money. Get my money.
Go ahead, a second.
Councilmember Grimes,
Yes.
should I ask her? Councilmember Hampton.
Wait.
Okay, I'll wait, sorry.
Just finish up the building project, financially speaking. Just finished otherwise, didn't it?
I think we're at 99.
Right now, the only thing we're really waiting on is some stencil work on the builders. Other than that, it's operational, everything's functioning.
You were here last week, 3 months.
My wife's birthday, I chose to bail out that day.
Oh, maybe he made a wise decision. Thank you for, handling that water pressure issue out on Pepper Road. Kind of funny how that happened, self-perpetuated, didn't it? People got into the pipe and the pipe ruptured and washed it out and it just kept falling over.
How it tends to go. It's the second time what's happened on that strip. So we were familiar.
Like it's all these new poles are not breaking off like the old ones did. I mean, I'm talking new power poles, they're pushing over and not breaking like they were.
That one was laid too close to the water line, to be honest. I didn't like that. I wish they were a little bit further separated.
He probably did that in the dark, didn't you?
More and more.
And windy.
It was,
Councilmember Grimes, Councilmember Hampton, Councilmember Woodfall,
Yes.
Council Vice Mayor Landry, Mayor Chester.
Yes. Okay, now item 6B, Mr. Hart. The council on grants, the council take any action may necessary.
for 5 months.
Mr. Hart, the floor is yours.
Get the microphone so we can hear you.
Must be loud. Just want to go over the list of the grants we're working through right now. Some of the ones we've been awarded, some of the ones we hope to be awarded, and then some of the ones that did not get awarded. First one is that RIF grant to replace the asbestos concrete main from the water plant to the water tower. That's 4.7 million. That's no city funds involved in that. That's all RIF.
Infrastructure. You know, that is RAF.
Rural Infrastructure Fund. One we just talked about, grant amount was 2.7 million for the filter project. This is a vacuum jetter truck, and that number should go up to 250 something. I can't remember what it was. But that'll pay for 75% of Sean's vacuum truck. We'll pay for the other 25%. That's a stormwater planning and prep study we're doing. That's also a RIF grant, 100% paid for by Florida Commerce. With a kickoff meeting early next month, I believe. That's the other one we just talked about, the downtown street repaving, CDBG. That's 100% grant funded, no city funds. That's the wastewater planning document we did. It was 300 grand. We paid 150 in a long-term loan, like I think 0.99 or close to it. That's the one that identified the 120 million in grants over the next, I think, 22 years. I gotta turn that red. RB failed us. We didn't get a new fire truck. We did get a commercial washer and dryer and some PPE in the fire department. RB gas, yeah, that's got to turn red too. Firehouse we didn't come through. That was $2 grand from Duke to replace some of the trees that this we're not to do it again. Something different. Hurricane. We've got most all of them. That was another one for trees. This is the one we just kicked off last month, the Downtown Revitalization Partnership Retail Strategies. You should start seeing some action on it pretty soon. This one we should hear back any day. We applied for 4 streets through Scott. I doubt we get all 4. We'll probably get 1. It's probably gonna be Park Street, I had to guess. This was approved. Can't remember what all was in here, but pretty much rebuilding the whole natural gas regulators for about $500,000. These are ones we submitted this past cycle, replacing all the bare steel gas lines and replacing all the natural gas meters. That would be with the drive-by meter. You don't have to go to every box. Just drive through with your little sensor.
That wind is still water meters up the same.
This one, the funding's been approved, but our project hasn't quite been approved yet. We're still going through some of the requests for information, but this will be approved. I think it's 8 or 10 standby natural gas generators. Pretty much all the city facilities. This is Jamie's, I don't know exactly what. That's-
Hey, it's a grant we got to pay for the tuition for all the training for the new officers. We didn't have to pay that out of our training budget.
what I got for the fire. Police
For the
radios.
radios, yeah, $330,000 through appropriations to the state. Still working on that one.
Charlotte's generators, they won't be able to get it.
Well, they should be, and, I don't, all of them will be at the lift stations, they'll be like for City Hall and.
There's only 2 for our biggest lift stations.
Yeah.
The rest
It'll
of
be
them,
automatic.
we'll look at our natural gas system.
Very good.
That's Jamie's for this.
Through the state of Florida, we funded all new ballistic vests for all the officers.
I don't know what that was for.
That's the DOT occupant protection seatbelt enforcement program. That's ending. We have a new one that. Got here. And that's the impaired driving for last year, and that was, we were just approved for a new one for this year, and I hadn't gotten documents from them yet.
Now, what does that encompass?
It's equipment and overtime hours for enforcing occupant protection seatbelts and child restraints to increase our usage percentage of seatbelts in this community. And the other one is for DUI enforcement and equipment for traffic control.
These are the same ones again that he.
Yeah.
Applied for this year.
We were approved for both of those. That you have paperwork for the occupant protection, you should have it. I just got the notice we were approved for the impaired driving for this year, and we haven't got the documents yet from the state to start that program.
These are the 2 deferred apps we just applied for here recently, $200,000 each for Lothridge and Jerkins Park. Do remember that. That is finish mapping your whole natural gas system. That have been approved yet. That's what we just talked about. I need to make, well, I guess that wasn't a grant. That's a loan. That can come off there. This is the one that started phase 1 of Sean's project. I think there's 6 projects involved. $9 million. This is the design and engineering of it. And then the here's your construction, the 8.3 is the remainder. Applied for a RIF this past cycle. This project is inside of this one. But this 8 million will be probably 80% grant and 20% loan. If I can get a portion of it through RIF, that'll be 100% grant. Need to get some info over to do, but they're gonna give us some money to work on the banners. These are 2 for septic to sewer in Quill Point and Southwood. These have been applied for, but hadn't heard anything back here recently. That's about it.
What was that?
Called South. It's Quill Point, Judson Drive, and then Southwood is Claire, that's right, Claire, and then Luton, that's the area.
Are we working on any other parts of the city?
Not anymore.
They've been requesting. So,
See how we do with these 2, and we'll keep moving along. At some point, I think DEP wants everybody in the city to be on the sewer system.
Telling everybody everywhere to be on sewer.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all can handle all that.
Understandable.
When they get through doing repairs, then. We treat most of the rainwater, groundwater.
Got a lot going on. Every one of them comes with its own, every page agreement. that we gotta try to figure out how to comply with.
And I was just reading this, and we have done, once we sign the agreement, we will do the compliance certificate, and that's what they're saying is within 60 calendar days. And then we have until, we have to send the audit certification memo with our act by June 30th. That's what it's saying. So, trick for a minute there.
Y'all see some y'all want to apply to or have some projects, we can have a look at them. Yeah, we're doing the survey right now. Then we'll be able to go after funding once the survey's complete. I could put that on there, but Florida Rural Water is doing that for free. I don't know what the cost would have been to call it grant, but it's 50 grand.
Yeah, probably. That's not really approved to us. They do that contracting with the contractor themselves, so we don't actually see the amount, but the state pays for water.
Very good, so I'm very busy. Although you have a salary, it's later.
I just get to do the legwork and Carly has to do it all of them.
Thanks. Email it.
I'm good.
Got any discussion on this or questions or anything?
Right.
Very good job.
We just gotta stay on top of it and make sure we comply with everything. And it's gonna put a lot on your employees to get the work done. It's time for that.
At the same time, it's really going to improve the city.
It sure is. We want it.
I think that a lot of our things that nobody really gets, like all the Sean's $120 million. Nobody ever think once about it.
You can sell on the ground.
And when they replace that 12-inch water main through here,
Will be rough.
you gotta hear about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
That was sweet.
City of business.
But right now, what they're saying is, yeah, we're doing this.
They're not gonna be saying it when it starts.
Not been construction.
Good line it.
They're starting, they're doing the locate right now.
Yeah, if you see STC trucks, they're surveying properties now.
Then item 6F, council to consider approval of FDOT occupant safety sub-grant agreement for project number OT, that's 2025-000079, to take any action deemed necessary.
Yeah, because that was Willie.
Huh?
We had that one.
I was sort of wondering about that.
That's the DOT occupant protection enforcement grant that I spoke about to increase our usage percentage of seatbelts and child restraints in the city. They pay us $25,000 to the enforcement and the officers working. So reimbursement grant pays for the expense, not just the salary, but the expenses.
Expensive.
The additional social security, if there is any retirement expense, all that's added.
Yeah, do we have any questions? We have done. I have to read stuff in front of me whenever it's presented to council. Another thing I see is FDOT occupant safety. So, do we have that?
You may not have it. It came in late. And I emailed it to Stephanie, and she may not have been able to include it in your packet.
Yeah, so I think kind of a crazy week around City Hall, so.
Yeah, it's but it's a multi-page document. John has it up.
I think you got printed because it was.
How many pages is it? It's a bunch of pages. 31 pages.
If I had it, I wouldn't understand it, so. But it's basically paying y'all to
Yes, ma'am.
increase enforcement of seatbelt and child
Child
restraint.
restraint, yes. Occupant protection.
Do we need to do anything with this, or?
Just, you need, all it is you need to sign it. So this is just the council agreeing that we're gonna proceed.
So you have, you'll get a motion.
It wouldn't hurt to have it. I would suggest go ahead and go that route.
Motion.
Second.
Councilmember Grimes?
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton?
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry?
Yes.
Mayor Ketchum?
Yes.
And the next meeting, you'll have one for the impaired driving, where that's alcohol and drug drivers enforcement. And we'll get that. Should get that well before the next meeting packets go out. So I'll make sure we can get that to you.
Don't have to read a whole 3 pages of it. But something that I could read to say, this is what I'm seeing, yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
Why don't you don't hear about his audit requirements?
Please.
What is that?
Agenda item 6E. Resolution 2024-24 budget amendment. Resolution of the city of Perry, or excuse me, resolution of the city council amending the budget, city of Perry, Florida, for the fiscal year October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025. That's the one gave us.
Motion to approve.
The motion, we have a second.
Yes.
Councilmember Grimes?
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton?
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry?
Yes.
Mayor Ketchum?
Yes. Agenda item 6H, council to discuss the community development, excuse me, redevelopment agency. CRA, or as we all affectionately know, is the CRA. The council will take any action deemed necessary.
Is that something that the counties have to approve too?
I don't know how that works. We can't even move forward till y'all start it back. And I wanna, somehow we got a retroactive to the CRA, how it was written in the, I think in 93. Yeah,
30 years, yes, 30 years.
it was written in there that it dissolves after 30 years, but the council always had the option by vote to keep it going, and we never did it. Then you didn't care about keeping it going, and at the time I didn't know what good it could do for us.
You want to keep it going?
I'd like to keep it
Or motion to keep it going?
Motion, we have a second.
The original had it ending after 30 years. I don't know if this motion needs to say 30 more years or just until we decide to dissolve it. I think I'd like to go that way, just it continues till we decide we want to dissolve.
Motion for. Ms. Anthony, second.
Councilmember Grimes?
Yes.
As the sun said.
I asked them about it, so if there's a vote by the council to keep it going, you can keep it going.
Councilmember Grimes?
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton?
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry?
Yes.
Mayor Ketchum?
Yes.
Agenda item 6. Aye. Regular minute, October 8th, 2024 regular session. Have a discussion on entertain a motion.
Discussion. We need to kind of clean up what we do. I'm looking at 6B. But this, it goes back into months, forward in months. He came and he asked for something. But we never concluded. We don't have any building that. There's problems with it, whatever, I don't At one time, they wanted beer.
He said they weren't gonna have any this time.
Yeah, this time. The, senior center is perfect place. They were out there. They had bingo out there. They had pool tables. And whatever fuss came up, they left there and went up 221. That didn't work out. But I think we need to tell just a letter or whatever, however you do it, that we don't have any building. And we're gonna stick with the,
Also,
policy. Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah.
So do I need to put that in the minutes retroactively, or is this would be in this minutes?
Amendment.
You wanna amend it or?
Well, we didn't sign that night.
That night.
So it has to be
It'll be in this.
It'll be in
Just so he gets,
Yeah,
these.
it's an answer.
the VFW and American Legion met for years and years and years. Over by the duck pond. Same building, different name.
Well, I rode by there today and that thought crossed my mind. If they only meet once a month, why couldn't they share that building? Okay, we need a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion.
Second,
Councilmember Grimes,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodcock,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
yes.
Mayor Patrick.
Yes. Good manager, but you came back. What it is. Excuse me for now, Charlie.
We actually got a little tiny bit of money from FEMA. We got yesterday in the mail, we got $2,000 on one check and $13,000 in another check. So that's our big payout.
So it's starting to finally happen.
Yeah, it's starting to trickle in. Stuff's getting obligated to the state and they said that'll move it along quicker. But our biggest projects like debris and things like that are still sitting with FEMA. But other than that, that's
DOT needs that for us.
for this time. We're hoping.
Are you talking today or?
I'm talking about a day, yeah. Sorry.
So that one was slowed down.
Yes, ma'am.
It takes, man.
It does.
Okay. So we have. Then.
I don't have anything, no updates tonight.
About the fire department, we don't have anything.
No, I'm doing nothing.
Hey, Andrew,
No major updates right now.
again, thank you for everything you did. I texted you at 3 something in the morning and said. Open the process at the airport, and it was driven, I said, heck, it was about to go by daylight, or sooner. Hey, thanks for that.
I remember now. Utility penalties. We want to enforce them right now or? Hold
What?
on, penalties on utility bills. Late fees.
Won't do what we did last year, good first of the year. Man,
I think we should hold on.
I thought we said first of the year. No.
Rest of the year.
first of the year, first of the year. First of 2025, first of this coming up.
Y'all tell me who motion.
I motioned
It's messing with me.
it. I can't, you want to see it.
Can you bring this back now before we?
I believe that's real.
Councilmember Brian,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes. But you are gonna bring it back before council before you.
Please give us a reminder.
Yes. Councilmember Woodball,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes.
Mayor Ketchum.
Yes. Andrew, you.
Otherwise, we're ready.
Good deal, Sean.
We got our trench box in last week. What? Closer now than here. We got our trench box in last week. So I mean, that'll help us if we have to excavate, you know,
Safety, cage,
it's
not
perfect.
cage, but, you know.
Let's cage. We're gonna have to fashion a trailer to haul it on, which we've got an older one we're gonna repair. I have an employee who's gonna be out for a while because he had a back injury. It wasn't at work. But, don't know how severe that is yet or how long he'll be out.
Was or was not.
It was not at work. Everything at the plant is pretty much. Everything's good. We didn't really have a lot of damage during the hurricane. There's really not a lot right now. I mean, don't have any complaints or questions, concerns.
The smell at the lift station.
We ran out of the smell good.
Okay.
We couldn't get it. We got it actually yesterday. So it's in there now. And there is. One of the issues we had, like during the storm, was actually finding someone to do repairs and work. We actually found a company that actually put a door on Warner to kind of close it off. So what we did was we installed this vent on the top where that oil is that you smell. There's 3 more doors that have to be put on, 1 at Warner, 2 at Goodman's. That's part of Idalia, but like I said, it's been a year, but just finding somebody and them having the time to do it. They're actually out of Georgia. So, but yeah, we ran out and before I bought a whole lot of it, and we know it works now because when it ran out, you could smell it. But we haven't even paid for it. They let us use it on a trial basis. So now I've got a 5-gallon bucket of the stuff, and it usually takes about a gallon a month, I think is what he said. But I'm gonna get a drum that's gonna stay at that lift station.
Okay.
And the guys we'll try to get it on schedule to where it's refilled every month. But the company's Hayward, the salesman was Lance. Like I said, he really kind of basically let me use it, make sure it worked. And
Thank you.
Question. Y'all had a company from, I believe it was Atlanta, came down, and did the slip line on Cherry Creek. And you were considering buying that equipment. What happened with that?
The repairs that Mon are gonna do. If they camera and line, especially if they camera and they prioritize and they line most of the system. I mean, it's equipment I would like to have, but if they're gonna repair most of the things, I mean, it could be something. Visited later, I
Okay,
guess.
so we're gonna do something else first, and then if it's needed later, you will look at it.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it would be nice to have, but it is so expensive.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean. I mean, and we're kind of, and I'll just tell you, we're kind of holding off on some of the repairs we had for the lift stations. Just because we do have this grant, and we're just gonna try to let them alone until this money comes. That's the plan. We do have some spare parts. We've had pumps go out, you know, like during the storm, we got a little deal. It's not an issue. Local electrician has did a lot of upgrades to some of the lift stations. We have a few more that he hasn't quite finished from Idalia and Debbie. And none of the past repairs were damaged during Celine, so. And that's why I kind of backed off of it. And it wouldn't be just the equipment. There'd be some other, like you'd have to have an enclosed trailer and some other equipment to house it in because it is UV sensitive. And it'd have, you'd have to have a large trailer set up with air conditioner and all that, because it's got to be completely closed off, so.
Big city stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
Me? Yeah. Okay. Danielle's not here. But I went by, somebody brought it up and I went by and looked today. The trash behind Aaron's Rentals, that's commercial. That's Deep South. And one bin is being used and maybe full, I don't remember. But on the side of that, it's awful. I mean, awful, and it's blowing all over the property behind it. So I don't know what the problem is, but we need to get it fixed.
You said that was behind Aaron's?
And also, I had a call about the recycle trailers that we had down there on Buckalter Drive. They're gone. So now people are just taking their stuff and putting it down on the concrete pad. So what's the deal with that?
County had damage to their recycling center. They can't accept recycling right now. But all that, we want to get somebody out there and clean it up. But they're not gonna put the bins back out there until they get the facility fixed.
Yeah, because if you don't clean it up, it'll start blowing all over the place. So,
That may be a well,
Animals have been in.
yeah, probably, yeah.
maybe we'll put some on the Facebook page to go. Not waste like pulling out on the concrete pad, leaving there, so they'll be all over the place.
Recycle bins are temporary.
Maybe we can talk with newspaper and say something about it to you.
Get a sign posted there, that would probably be it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let them, the person that called, I'll let him know.
That's good. Snake. Brown.
Yes. If our employees picked up this yard waste, way these contractors, it'd be somebody else's employee. What they do is they go by, most of them, they've got a clam type thing. They lift it, they drop it. When it reaches a certain point, they go to the dumping. What we do, if we lift it and we crush it and work it down, I would guess our trucks probably hold more than these trucks we see running them down the road. And that, of course, that's whole FEMA money there. But
Well, I had a question too about that. They've been coming down Ash Street. And I assume they're turning on Jefferson instead of going back to 19 and going down that way. I mean,
it's,
what's the deal?
why do they go to a particular pile of stuff, pick it up, and never come back to the next one? That is crazy.
Well, I'm not gonna complain too much because at least they're in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So that's progress.
And we're not paying for it. I ain't gonna bother.
What?
We're not paying for it.
No,
Well,
no,
that's
thank
true, but
goodness.
still, it's a reflection on us, John. And you said earlier you tired of the city looking like a big bin and now it looks worse than a big bin.
3 hurricanes doesn't help.
Well, they are.
These, one other thing, these block grants are federal money that goes to the state, and then the state divides it up. Whatever comes out, it comes from the federal. My concern was, John said he had got people contract, however he said it, was it administration and engineering. And illegal. As discussion went on, he then said, well, we got RFPs going out, coming back on the 31st. Well, that changed my whole concern about it.
Why is it illegal to have somebody administer it?
It's not illegal, but you gotta have somebody to administer it. But there's a particular way to do it, to select that person. And you'll get the opportunity to do that.
City manager has been educated.
We're doing it the right way.
Thank you very much.